So I took this flight back from Fort Lauderdale, and there was wind, and so as we were landing, like I didn't know, like so turbulence in the air. If you're flying and you hit turbulence, the plane is meant to be able to take turbulence. It can handle it. It can handle it. Like a Jewish man is just bred to get his balls broken by his wife, and they like it. I mean, Jewish guys are the toughest fucking businessmen. You go in and they bubby you to death. Oh, they will fucking crush your whole business over a Reuben sandwich and walk away after they fucking bankrupted you and made a deal that worked in their favor because they're so tough and brilliant at businessmen, and they fucking act like bosses and fucking push people around, and then they will get in the car and their wife will fucking yell at them because they got tickets to see George Mason, what was his name? Jackie Mason. Or whatever, he's dead. But who's a big one, Boogie? I don't know. They're gonna go see Jerry Seinfeld at the casino, and they don't want to be late. They don't want to stand in line. And the husbands will just take it. So fucking planes are aerodynamically designed to take the pressure that a Jewish man is designed to take from his wife. And I've seen it firsthand. I grew up in Brooklyn. My mom's best friend was Jewish, and her husband was one of the biggest defense lawyers in the fucking country, and she would just fucking shut up, and he wouldn't say a damn thing. You put that guy in court, he would probably crush it and get criminals off, drug dealers off. And his wife walked in the room, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go make you a tuna fish sandwich right now, babe. So that's how strong planes are. They're as strong as a Jewish man around his woman. They're designed to take that turbulence. But when you're landing, that's where you're really at risk of the plane crashing during landings. So there was like a windstorm like up there. And so as he got closer to the ground, the plane can take it higher. But when you get closer to the ground, it's the winds pick up. There was one gust that almost flipped our plane. Like if we were lower, the plane would have struck into the ground. So the wind gust happened. We went like sideways, and then the pilot flung it back up. He went back up. Like we must have been like 100 feet off the ground, 50 feet off the ground, and we just felt it go tug. And we went to the ground, and the girl next to me was going, "Oh my God. Oh my God." She goes, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And she looked at me and I said, I'm not in the cockpit. But just like a woman, they're fucking feminist and strong until you're about to die in an airplane. And then she was just looking for a man's arm to hold on to. She grabbed my arm. I'm like, I'm married, bitch. Just because I'm fucking about to die, I don't want this karma on me. Don't touch me. I'm married. I got a baby at home. I need to text my wife goodbye. Which I did, by the way. That's a wild text to send.
Really?
Because, it was bad, dude. This was the worst. I've only had smooth sailing flights. And I told you, I'm arrogant like Ben Shapiro. Because of the data, I'm like, you can't die on an airplane.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say in the text?
I said, I love you and G. I was almost contemplating not sending it because I didn't want to scare her or make her feel bad. But then I was like, wait, she's just going to find that I'm dead in the morning.
But you didn't say anything about the plane crashing? You just said,
no, I just said, I love you. I love you. Well, because, and also like I wanted it when we were low, I wanted to make sure it went through. So I did it like right when the guy was taking off. I'm like, oh shit, we're going to die. And so people were just freaking out, dude. There was a lot of people though. You really see people. It's like the Joker said. Remember, he's like, you want to know who they really are? Remember that part? He's like, you want to know which one of them are cowards? It's kind of true. And let me just say, if you were sitting in 23A and you were wearing half a shirt and you were clearly a Jewish girl, you don't come from, you have anxiety in your family. Because she was even like when there was a little turbulence in the air, I could see her. She would always she was grabbing the chair as if that does anything when they go, ooh, as if you're not in the air. Like they're like, okay, at least I'm on solid ground. No, you're not, bitch. Might as well go with the flow and surf it out. Because you grabbing the end's not going to do anything. And, but then when she turned to me, she goes, what's going on? Wait, what did she say to me? She says, what's happening? That'd be funny if I had the info. I was like, well, what's happening is he tried to make what we call a not to landing. But the wind gusts are coming from 9-4. So what we got to do is we're going to circle back around Roger 5-9er. And Jimmy over in the tower told me what we're going to do is we're going to take a 9-6 hike. And we call that a skydive channel. And we're going to take a skydive channel. Because that's not what she wanted. She just was looking for God to save her. But she can't. because God don't care about JetBlue flights. He's too busy supporting Muslims' war against the infidels. So he's busy, okay? There's a lot of cartoonists that got to get their heads cut off. God is fucking busy. He doesn't care about you and me. We're going down. So, but there was funny. There was one guy who either was knowledgeable or was just trying to get some pussy and figured if we don't die, maybe this bitch will, because he said to another girl, there was like a bunch of cute girls sitting by me. And the guy was like, yeah, this happens all the time. He was like, what do you, probably the wind was a little strong, so he's going to give it another go. And then if not, he'll probably just go land it someplace else. Big deal. They'll give us like a coupon to go sleep at a Boston hotel. Like, maybe we should, maybe together. So, but he was playing it real cool, but he could have been freaking out and having an adrenaline rush. But he was like, yo, at least maybe I'll get laid now. So I heard him trying to play it off while people were screaming and, but no, but I was actually sitting next to the person who was freaking out the most. And she was going, she was hyper. And then when the plane landed, she goes, I'm sorry, I scared you. I was like, I know you grew up in a family where it was made to think it was all about you, but you didn't scare me. You know what scared me? What was going on with the plane and the weather? So I know you think you're little, what's going on? Scared me. But you know what scared me more? Was that fucking nature was flipping us around like a paper airplane. I was in a 747 or whatever those fucking cruise ships in the sky are. And I mean, that wind gust treated us like a paper airplane. It was wild. And so finally on the second run down, we still had turbulence, but he put it down. And from what I learned is like landings are basically controlled crashes. You crash something going 400 miles an hour and they just know how to land it. But that's where accidents happen. If the wind gusts it and pushes you into the ground or the wing into the ground, the fuel explodes and you're done. So it's like how that never happens and like plane crashes don't. I mean, what are the chances, dude? And I was doing Flagrant 2. So I'm like, every time did Akash fucking call JetBlue and say, you know what, we didn't get him the first time. Am I going to have to text Joe Rogan again? Am I going to have to want to blow up India again?
It was on the way there? Or on the
no, it was on the way back. On the way back from doing Flagrant 2. The funny thing is like, yeah, I got COVID doing Flagrant 2, and my sodium levels dropped so low, I could have died. And that would have been a fucking real pussy way to die. What happened? His sodium levels dropped so low. I mean, that's like saying he died from allergy to the peanut or something. It's like, did the guy like have any crackers around? Like, who's taking care of this guy? So, yeah. So part of me was in the plane. I was kind of laughing at myself going like, is God angry at me? Dude, stop being passive aggressive. Like, if you want to say something, say something. Did I do something wrong? Because you keep trying to whack me. So it's like, I've been shot. I got struck by lightning when I was in camp. I've had my head split open by a bat. I almost died from eating bad sausage in our old refrigerator. You remember that shit? My heart rate went down to 20. Yep. I mean, what are you trying to do to me, God? And then I get COVID. I go to the hospital, sodium levels. And then this flight was like, I could have died on this fucking thing.
What a way to go out.
What a way to go out on a JetBlue flight. And I didn't even have the headphones to watch the movies. I had only my iPhone. So I was just sitting there playing computer. I was playing chess against a computer for 3 hours.
You were in a movie.
Yeah, I was in a movie. And I had to listen to the girl next to me go, what's going on? I don't know. I don't work for the airline. I'm in your position. But she grabbed my arm. It was hilarious. She grabbed my arm and I was like, it's funny how scared you are of your wife when you're in a loving relationship and you're like, I didn't want her, here we are thinking we're going to die. And my reaction was, can you get off my arm? First of all, my wife's not there. Second of all, she can't see it. But my first reaction was like, get off my arm. And now in retrospect, I was going like, that's the type of goddamn castration that happens to men after they're married. Because dude, that is the opposite of what a man should be thinking at that moment. At that moment, a man should be going, take my dick out and jerk it, and I'll play with your put. Like, this is our last chance. Let's give each other hand jobs. Let's go out in euphoria. But instead, I was like, come on, my wife might, I was like, my wife's not even there. So, things aren't based on reality a lot of times. But we lived, landed the plane, and I prayed, which is hilarious. You do. When you're in that position, you just do. It's kind of like, Praying, even atheists, I bet you even the biologist Dawkins would pray in that situation.